version of the article of the week. Much like the mug of the week, there are a lot of things that are important about the article of the week. The first one that I want to talk about is new on parents' to-do list, checking children's credit history. So this is one of the things that is very important. It's about your credit score and your credit history and possibly getting it frozen so that you can actually have protection against fraud before you graduate. So ask your parents about that, talk about that. This is from the Wall Street Journal. I have another full article review where I talk about that. It will be posted on YouTube. You can always look at this on YouTube. If you are already, hey, nice job. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. But it's College Success Coaching for all of my people that if you want to go onto YouTube, you can check out. I'll have it on there as something like student credit history article or something like that. And I'll have a link in the description for that. So you can check that out. What I want to go into more detail about with you all is, how do scholarships work? So I know that you're in college, you're finishing up college, or maybe you're not, and you're looking at like, how do I get some money for things like books or, an organizational thing or just taking a summer class or a winter term class? What is a scholarship? Essentially, what this article from Unbound says is every schooler, or the short answer, money awarded to a student for the purpose of academic study. Now, from that definition, it does not mean something you apply for as a high schooler trying to get into college. So at first glance, scholarships, grants, and financial aid sound pretty similar. However, they have key differences. Grants are awarded based on the student's financial needs. So that would be like your FAFSA. Financial aid, same thing, but it has to be paid back. And a scholarship falls into neither of these categories. Scholarships are privately funded, free gifts of money, but they're not just given to anyone, right? Or else you would have just gotten scholarships dropped on you without applying. Unlike grants and financial aid, scholarships must be earned. But there are a bunch of scholarships. So this article gets into the different types. There are academic scholarships, athletic scholarships, minority scholarships, women's scholarships, creative scholarships, community service scholarships, competition scholarships, and unusual scholarships, which maybe this is the Halloween scholarships, I don't know. Awarded for literally anything else, like your ability to make a killer duck call or write an essay about fire sprinklers. Yes, those are both real scholarships. Try Googling them. Wow. Any duck callers out there? I would make a poll, but I'd be afraid that somebody might say yes. Submit that. Send that in an email. I will put it on the YouTube channel. I promise you that's totally worth it. So there are obviously a lot of different scholarships. I got a couple of scholarships while I was in college, my second and third year. There was the Dean's Scholarship that I got because my GPA was high enough, and I just got even more money for staying in school and not doing drugs. Okay, so how to find and apply for scholarships. Number one, have a plan of attack. So you can decide how much effort you want to put into this process. So there are a lot of different applications that you can look at. There are $500, $300, $1,000, $1,500 scholarships, but they're all over the place. And for the most part, there are these places that you can sign up for that will make you apply to 100 scholarships. And it does take time. It may take an hour, hour and a half to answer all the questions, but it'll blast you out for 100 different scholarships that you could get any of, maybe a lot of. And that could really help you for your next semester. So this one says sign up with a search engine. The best way for modern students to apply to scholarships is to use any of the 1,000,001 scholarship search engines that are popular on the web. Fastweb.com is one that people are using, but just Googling applications at college applications for scholarships, it's a great way to find a bunch that you could apply for that you probably are eligible for. There are scholarships just for books, right? There's scholarships for taking trips abroad. There are scholarships for almost anything. It suggests to make it happen. You couldn't apply for a scholarship because someone hasn't finished the reference letter. That's not a good excuse. Remember, finding scholarships is 100% your project. Duh. And it's up to you to make sure it happens on time. So, look, this is basically saying harass people, hound people, get all the things that you need together for these scholarship applications. Again, have some free time. You got a weekend. You know which ones you want to apply for. Tackle them all at once. At this point in college, it's more important that you know what exactly you need the money for rather than just trying to apply 3,000 of these. But scholarships can help. They really can help. They can really ease the burden of your college tuition or your books or things that you just thought like, wow, I didn't really budget for this because, remember when you started school to now, the cost of college probably went up. I know it did for me between my freshman and my senior year. So think about that. Beyond scholarships, this talks about saving money on college and things like that. Just some of the things that I really recommend doing. But hey, scholarships, free money, not free. Nothing's free. But do some effort, get some references, get some material together, get a plan, make some money. Like, why not get some scholarships for things that you're already doing? It's not just for high school kids anymore. Okay, so that's the first article. The second article that I want to discuss with you is about the flu. Last year, the flu put him in a coma. This year, he's getting the shot. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I am not going to get into a debate or a conversation about vaccines versus anti-vaxxers. I'm not interested at all in that debate. What I am interested in is the moral of this story, which is that this person, who I believe was 39 years old, almost died from the flu. So the flu can be serious. Any disease can be serious, no matter how old you are. We think about the flu as being for at-risk populations, like the elderly or the young, the very young, like infants and toddlers. But the flu can be dangerous for you. If you're stressed, if you're malnourished, if it's a particularly rough strain, you happen to be sick with something else at the same time, something else is compromising your immune system, all of a sudden, the flu could kill you. Or meningitis, or many other diseases that you could wonderfully capture from being in a place that is essentially a giant petri dish from people around the world. I don't know if I say that enough, but college is gross. So this person, Charlie Hinderleder, wasn't opposed to the flu shot. He didn't have a problem with vaccinations. He was about one of 53% of Americans who just didn't get one. So it turns out that didn't work out for him. An estimated 80,000 Americans died of the flu or flu-related complications last winter. Now, again, a lot of those people are in those at-risk populations. So, let's take this with a grain of salt and let's not get into hysterics here. But it is important to see that it can cause things like a medically induced coma, surgeries, people being stuck in the hospital for 58 days, like this person. And so, people were really worried about him, and it really didn't work out for him. He had symptoms, but it was getting worse and worse. It wasn't getting better and better. He didn't seek help right away because it seemed like, oh, it's just the flu, I'll get over it. And then he ended up in the emergency room. So what are the takeaways from this? One of the takeaways is what I keep saying to you guys, which I hope that you already have. You know where your doctor's office is. You know where the urgent care office is, where you go to school. You have a medical proxy with your parents in case you do fall into a coma and they do have to make medical decisions for you and know what you want to have happen and be able to get your medical information. That you have some kind of way to get prescriptions, you know where your health center is, and you know a reasonable amount of time before you should actually go and seek medical attention and advice for what it is that you're experiencing. So let's say that it's like, okay, well, I'm really not feeling well. Well, 5 days of really not feeling well, that's weird. That's not normal. You should probably go talk to somebody. 3 days and you start to be coming out on the other side. Okay, that's good. But 3 days and then it plateaus and you're still just kind of coughing and feeling a little under the weather for another week or two, you still probably should go and see the medical center because you don't know. It might be bacterial and you might not be able to get over it. I had a very interesting case. I had an employee working for me, and they had strep throat, and then it went away. And then about 6 months later, they were incapacitated. Their knees locked up. They were in extraordinary amounts of pain. They had rashes all over their body. So they went to the doctor, and doctor after doctor didn't know what was going on. Eventually, she went to a doctor who recognized the symptoms and said, I'm going to do a strep test in your blood. And she said, I don't have strep throat. My throat's not sore. And he said, yeah, I'm going to do a strep test for you. It was in her blood. Strep throat moved from her throat into her circulatory system. So she was experiencing symptoms in her joints and ligaments and all kinds of terrible things that are way worse than a sore throat because it's a bacterial infection that had infected her body. So it infiltrated and it infected many more parts rather than just cultivating in the throat because she just never had it addressed. She could have taken care of it with a Z-Pak. Like 5 days of a strong antibiotic, and this never would have happened. She actually ended up not working for me anymore because she was on disability for 2 months from strep. I don't know if you know what strep is, but it's basically like a glorified sore throat. I had it all the time in college, and then I'd take an antibiotic and it'd be gone. And and I was particularly susceptible for some reason to strep, but it can be prevented, it can be treated very quickly. But if you don't treat it, it could get septic, and then you could be in serious trouble. So, it's just one of those anecdotal stories about how something small can really snowball into something big if you don't get medical attention. Please seek the medical center. It's why it's there. It's right there. It's probably free. Just go see them if you're already sick. If you're not, let's talk about reducing the risks. King says the flu shot is important even at times like last winter when the season's flu shot was not particularly effective. Okay, so it's effective even when it's not effective. So again, I'm not going to get into that. But it's not just about the flu shot. It's about the idea of supplementation, getting good nutrition, taking things that boost your immune system, zinc, vitamin C, ginseng, ginkgo biloba, I don't know, all this, whatever. You talk to a nutritional specialist, look at my online list. It's on the website. You can check out the downloadable vitamin list. If you can't find that, there's people that I have as resources on the website that you can speak to. There's B. Raymond, who's also a certified nutritional specialist, and there's Lisa Cohen from Isogenics, who's also a certified nutritional expert. These are people that can give you expert advice, but you can always talk to your doctor and find out, hey, what would help me this semester to not get sick in the winter? And as usual, doing the things that I talk about doing in terms of stress reduction, doing your work in little bits and chunks at a time, not getting too crazily involved in whatever's going on in the social life of your peers, not taking too much too seriously, but taking yourself seriously enough to take care of yourself. That's all. And all of that will help you to not get sick and not let the flu take you out for a semester. As many people that I know from when I went to college and from doing this for a long time now, I see people who don't take heed and end up going home for a semester. Don't let that be you. Seriously, just take care of yourself. And that, my friends, is the article of the week. So you get that double whammy. You got that nice double article of the week. It's really great to be able to talk to you guys about double the information, the things that are important to you. But I do want to go over things that are also important, which is your questions and answers. So again, don't be afraid to shout out your name and where you're at so the people that are also at your university, your college can see, oh yeah, hey, they're on here too, because I guarantee you somebody that you know is also a part of this wonderful community that we have. And it would be great to connect, maybe do a lunch, maybe do a coffee, talk about the articles of the week, the mug of the week, and just keep the conversations going about maybe the things that I don't want to talk about right now, which is that vaccine thing, and dig into that and kind of learn about it. It's really interesting. One of my favorite articles that I ended up doing an entire research paper based on was about overdosing on vitamins in undergrad. So I did this, it was for Psych Systems, I think, Psych Systems and Technology. And I was talking about the technology of vitamins. Vitamins are drugs. I don't know if you think of them that way, but they are chemicals. They're minerals and chemicals that change your body. So they're drugs. And you can overdose on them, just like anything else. If you have too much vitamin D, it gets weird. Too much vitamin C, you could get scurvy. So there are limits. That's why I say, consult with somebody when you're looking at taking these vitamins. It's important to realize that anything that you're taking into your body artificially that's a concentrated version of something from a plant or a mineral, that's a drug. So vitamins are no exception, and they can really benefit you, increase performance, and in too large of doses can really mess you up. And I did a whole paper on it that fascinated me, and my professor really thought it was cool. Got an A in a very hard class to get an A in a really important paper. So, keep these conversations going with people around you. And if you don't have people around you that are using this, why not? Why aren't you talking about college success coaching? Keep talking to people about what you do here. It's a great community. What we do here every week really changes lives. I really appreciate the emails and the messages that you all send me constantly about how it keeps you sane, how it's what you look forward to at the week. It's great to know that you can even put this on your phone and you can be watching or listening to me while you're doing homework or just chilling out. I know I'm so soothing with the things that I talk about. Maybe I should be talking like this about things, or talking like Luke. You do not know the power. Anyway, I could get into more than this, but it's really, seriously, it really is great to know that I can be a part of your community and that this community as a whole is growing and changing things together. You're getting more out of your life, and it wouldn't hurt to help your friends get more out of life too. They are your competition, but maybe not your direct competition, and maybe somebody who deserves some help too. Did you like that video? Did you find it interesting? Do you want to find out more about how to get more out of life? That's a lot of mores, and we can do even more than that. So if you would like to check out our website, www.collegesuccesscoaching.com, you can see what it's all about. I answer live questions every week. I have videos with experts in all kinds of fields that can help you to learn more about what they do and what you could be doing, and even more. We have resources on the website. It's a blast. So go ahead, check out the website. It's risk-free. 2 weeks on me. You're welcome. And otherwise, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can get all these article reviews, as well as every once in a while, I'll do a live Periscope where I'll answer any questions anybody sends me throughout that time. So keep on keeping on. We'll see you soon.